Hi guys and welcome. These are your handover videos for your Bailey Pegasus Grande Messina. So, starting off at the front, when you do hook up with us on collection day, we will go through this part at least. So at the front you've got your hitch head here with this silver lever. You have to have the silver lever pulled up and then wind the jockey wheel down. That silver lever will snap back and it will expose a green ring that comes on. You then have your handbrake here, which is with the gas strut there, so you do have to make sure that it's all the way back. Then you've got your jockey wheel used to level the caravan, and then you have 13-pin electric. So if you do have a 7-pin adaptation, make sure that you bring yourself an adapter. Now today we are using our test equipment, so on the door side you have just here the insert for your mains lead. Mains lead slots into here and then the cap sits just up above. Just press it in and make sure the other side is connected, and that will produce the mains power. On the other side of the caravan we have this first. Now this is your insert for your water pump. I'll show you the water pump inside the caravan, but all you do is push it in and then you can press the cap down slightly and it will lock it into place. Make sure you've got an aqua full of clean drinking water and that the strainer, which is on the water pump, sits at the bottom of the barrel. But again, I will show you that when I'm inside the caravan. Then just here you have your flue. Your flue is used to get clean air in and out of your boiler. Don't have to do anything with this except make sure it's nice and clean. And just here you have your gas bottle locker. So you can see I've got a gas hose connected onto this regulator to this propane gas bottle. Now you can use butane if you prefer. I'd always recommend propane. Make sure both sides are firmly connected with an in-date gas hose and twist the bottle in the open or positive direction. It can differ slightly dependent on the bottle or the make of the brand. Then moving along, just underneath here, next to the axle, you have your inserts here for where your wastewater will come out of. You'll need some 28.5mm waste pipe to feed into a waste master and then just empty it on site. Finally, for the exterior, we have these 2 points. This bottom one here, which I'll just open up, is for your cassette toilet. Now, on your toilet capacity, which I'll show you inside, next to the flush button, when this is full, it will come up with a red light. That means it's time to empty it. Then to empty it, you press up on this orange handle and you pull out just like so. You can also extend out this orange handle in a way that makes it into a bit of a suitcase. Then once you're at your emptying point on site, you twist this to the side, open up this cap here. Now this cap is quite useful. You tilt, and at the same time as tilting, you continually press in this button here to vent. Then what I would recommend you do after is slide this back, open up that catch, which actually releases into the cassette, put in some fresh water, shut that back up because you need it shut, give it a little bit of a swill out, and again tilt and vent. Now on this cap here you have measurements of both imperial and metric, and that is for your blue chemical. Blue chemical sits inside here, goes back onto the cap, and it acts in a way so it doesn't make the toilet smell or anything like that. And what you do is you just gently push this back so that the orange handle sits behind those white teeth. That way it can't be removed. Then just up above it you have your capacity for your flush. This opens up using your key, twist that to the side and opens it up just like so. The flush tank itself can hold around 10 litres of water, anywhere between 10 and 12. You just don't want to overfill it. You just get yourself a watering can to feed it in, and you can also get what's called pink chemical, which works as a bleach without being corrosive and also makes the toilet smell a bit nicer, and you fill that in. Now you don't want to travel with either of these two full, so just to the side here you can see this black lead. Open up that black lead and that will drain off any remaining water inside the flush. We will have drained that off for you before you leave. Then underneath your right hand side bench seat you have both your boiler just here, and then the main thing I want to focus on is that yellow valve. That is your drain valve. When it's in the vertical position, that drains off any remaining water inside the boiler system, and when it's in the horizontal position, that allows the flow of water to come through when you're plugged in with your water pump. Now, I'd recommend that anytime you come off site, you'd give the caravan a quick drain off before you leave, and between November to March, when it's colder temperatures, have that up permanently, because if it's the case it gets frosted over and bursts the pipes, no warranty really covers that. So you have to ensure that you have that pipe up, especially when it's cold, because you don't want your pipes to burst. Just another note, as you leave on your collection day, that will be in the vertical position when you come to use the caravan. And then underneath, just where your table is, just here, you have your trips and fuses. All your trips in the upright position, all your fuses correctly in. Then just here we have your main control board. This is for everything except your heating and hot water. So starting off first, you've got your main power switch just there that turns the caravan on and off. You can press this button here to see the amount of voltage coming into the caravan. Now, as I am plugged into mains, that is an accurate reading for the mains. When you're not plugged into the mains, it does give a reading for the battery. Below you've got your lights, and then you just use your respective light switches, and then your awning light. Go outside, a little bit of a sunny day, and you can see awning light on. Then you have your water pump button. When you're plugged in to your Acroll with your water pump and your valve in the correct position, you press this in and it comes up with a green light. Not going to press that as I'm not running any water through. You then come over to your taps. You'd open up the taps on both cold and hot, and what you're looking for is a nice steady continuous stream. Let it run for about 30 seconds just to start off with and get that nice steady stream. If it's not getting a steady stream, go outside and check your water pump. Now the water pump itself, this is where it inserts in and then you shut the cap down. You have this little plastic top to go over the top of the Acroll to make sure no nastiness gets in, and then you have your strainer that sits at the bottom of the barrel. It is very important the strainer does sit at the bottom of the barrel, because otherwise it will be gasping air through and you may see that this will begin to cough and splutter. So make sure that sits at the bottom. But in very brief summary, on, lights, awning light, water pump, battery voltage. Then just here we have your hob, oven and grill. This all works standard to any sort of gas cooker that you may have at home, bar the electric plate. Electric plate, you just switch it to whatever dial you want and it will gradually get hotter. Everything else, it's a case you press in on the dial and twist it to the side. That will begin to feed gas through, and then you press the igniter here, and this is what it looks like when they're lit. As you can see, nice steady blue continuous flames. Turn it off, back to the central position. Again for the grill, and you can see there the grill nice and working both sides. And lastly, the oven, and there again you can see the oven. Only other real thing to note, don't put down this glass sheet until all these burners are cold to the touch, and you have to travel with the glass sheet down, otherwise it may fall down and smash. Then just here we have your Truma control panel. So this gives for your heating and your hot water. It's currently on the green screen right now, just so it doesn't disturb you whilst you sleep. You have a dial in the middle, which is also a button, and then a back button just here. Press in on the dial and it comes to this screen. This is essentially your home page. You have all of this underneath the line is what you can select. So first up, you've got the caravan with the thermometer in it, or motorhome, they use the same system for that. And this is for the internal temperature of the caravan that you desire. It goes up to a maximum of 30, and then to select, you press in on the dial. If I want to go back and change it, press in on the dial again, and let's say I want it at 15, and press in again there. Next up, you've got your water temperature. So you can either have that off, eco, hot, or boost. Eco will get the water temperature to around about 40. Hot will get it to around about 60. And boost will prioritize the water for about 15 minutes over the heating to allow for the water to get to temperature, that being 60, and then drop it back down to eco. So that is ideal for when you're wanting to use the shower or something like that. Just gonna turn the heating off because it's quite a hot day. Then you've got energy source. So you have a few different choices. You can either run the heating and hot water off strictly gas, a mixture of gas and 1 kilowatt of electric, mixture of gas and 2 kilowatt, electric with 1 kilowatt, and electric with 2 kilowatt. And again, to select it, you just press in on the button, and if I go back to it, you can see electric too. Then you've got your fan icon. You can either have that off or vent. A vent is for the circulation of the air across the caravan. Then you can also set when you'd like the heating and hot water to come on with that icon just there. This allows you to set a timer for when you'd like it to start and when you'd like it to stop. If you're away from the caravan for a period of time, this is ideal for you because you set first the hour and then the minute, and then you choose when it ends. Then you've got the time. So it is not 20 to 10 at night. You just select the respective time. Obviously, when the screen times out and you haven't used the caravan, it's going to switch to what time it thinks it is. Also show the time on the home screen. Then this spanner is for settings. Got a few different bits like brightness, language, 12 or 24-hour clocks, and a few other bits like that. If you want to know a bit more about that, have a look inside your book pack. I'm essentially showing you how to set up for the basics of getting on site. And then to turn this off, when you don't want to use your heating and hot water, press and hold on the middle, come up as off. Then just here we have your fridge operation. So similar to your Truma panel, this again works off a dial. So you press and hold in, comes up with that screen on the side. You have a few different options. Press in first, you've got the level. So starts at 1, goes up to a maximum of 5. 5's going to chill it the quickest whilst bringing in the most amount of power, and 1's going to chill it the slowest but bring in the least amount of power. To select, you press in. Now press in again and go down 1 by twisting the dial, and you have your source. So you can either go to auto, so whatever is bordered is what you can select, whatever is blue is what is currently selected. So you can either have auto, battery, now that is car battery, not leisure battery. That is when you're plugged into your 13-pin electric, so do not select that unless you're plugged in. Gas, now for gas it's a case that it will gradually begin to tick in, and then once it's lit it will stop ticking, and then you have mains. For today I'm going to press auto, and auto will choose the source, and then I'm going to go back using that, and you can see that auto has selected mains. And then if we go down 1 more on the dial, we've got a few additional settings. So you've got screen brightness, which I'll turn that up a bit. You've got beeping sounds for when you're selecting things, a circulation to circulate a bit of air, and then a fast freeze option. Using that will add a little bit more power to the freezer itself to allow it to chill a bit quicker. Now for this, it does take around 4 hours for the fridge to fully chill. So if you're going a fair bit away, have it on that car battery icon, and as soon as you get set up, switch it over to either mains or gas, or auto for that sake. And to turn it off, you press and hold on the middle, and no more screen, so it's turned off. Then lastly, we've got your toilet operation, which you might say is bog simple. You have your flush button just here, which you just press in, but just here you have a cassette icon. When the cassette toilet is full, it will come up with a red dot underneath there telling you to empty it. Then for this, all you have to do is press in on the button and you can hear that motor. That motor is what would push around any water that you have inside the system. Then once you have flushed and you want to get rid of your waste, press away on the handle, opens up the cassette toilet, then to shut it, you just pull it back. You can't remove the cassette toilet unless it's pulled back to you, so just pull it back before you go to empty it and just travel with the toilet seat down.